Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are not yet subscribed, make sure that you do so before you leave and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any more of my future content. So today is Monday, so of course, as per usual, we are doing another Motivation Monday. If you're not familiar with Motivation Monday, it is a series that I created to help bring a little bit of light to your Monday, help you get through the week, and to inspire and empower you. I also take from things that have happened to me, things that have happened to those around me, and things that I have researched in order to bring you the information needed. For today's subject, I chose time management. This is bouncing a little bit off of last week's topic of setting goals. So in order to meet those goals, you have to be wise in time management. So I figured that would be the perfect topic to discuss today, especially for those moms whose kids are going back to school and you're trying to run your business during the frame of time that your kids are away. Or if you are going to work and you need to make sure that you are managing your time while you are there. So the first very important step in time management is a mindset shift. In order to get the most out of your time, you need to see the value in time, and that is going to require a mindset shift. You are going to need to shift your frame of mind from, why do I need to get up early? Why do I need to use this block of time that I would normally spend in front of the TV? Those kinds of questions, you need to shift those into, what can I do during that time that I have alone? What can I do during that time in the morning before everyone wakes up? And those kinds of things. That mindset shift is going to be necessary. Next, you are going to need to communicate your need for time and space. Uninterrupted work time needs to be communicated to those around you, be it your family, your coworkers, your friends, your acquaintances, anyone in your life. You need to communicate with them about your need for uninterrupted work time and space. This could mean something as simple as, when you are at home and you're working in your home office, close the door. Tell everyone, when my door's closed, this is the time that I need to spend working, and I need it to be uninterrupted. Unless there is an emergency, you don't need to bother me. Also, you need to let everyone know that my phone is going to be on Do Not Disturb during this block of time, and I need you to avoid calling me, messaging me, or interrupting me unless absolutely necessary. If you are doing something, the way you need to think of it is, if you are spending this time doing something that is eventually going to better your quality of life and the quality of life of your family and your children, then that's reason enough to disregard the mom guilt for the time being. I'm not saying you need to give up time with your children. I'm not saying that you need to give up sporting events, practices, games, things like that you're wanting to be there for. I'm not saying to give those up. Those are necessities. They're very important to your children. What I'm talking about is the little things like during the time that you are working and your kids are nagging you about things that, could wait. Those kinds of things. Don't feel guilty for taking time out that you're going to need to eventually better their situation, if that makes sense. That kind of also ties into the mindset shift. You're going to need to change your way of thinking in order to further your goals. Also, a necessary item is going to be a calendar. You're going to want to plan and track your time. What I mean by this is to write down what you are doing, just like you would on a diet. If you were on a diet, you would track the foods that you are eating, what you're drinking, things like that. So you're going to want to take and write down everything that you're doing throughout the day. Go from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. What are you doing? This is at 6 o'clock in the morning, this is what I'm doing. At 7 o'clock in the morning, this is what I'm doing. All the way up until you go to bed at night. Then you're going to sit down with that and you're going to evaluate it. You're going to say, okay, during this period of time, I spent doing blah, blah, blah. What could I have done during that period of time that would have been more productive? You're going to figure out how the time can be better utilized, basically. Also, with that same calendar, you're going to track the to-do list into blocks of time. So not only are you going to make the to-do list, but you're going to say, okay, this number one on my to-do list is going to be accomplished during this block of time. By doing that, you are putting those task into an actual slot of time, making them more realistic, and you're not having this whole to-do list of 10 items that you're not going to get to because you're not able to prioritize which is more important or what time frame I'm going to do this in. By putting it into blocks of time, you are setting aside that time to achieve that specific item on your to-do list. So it makes it more attainable, basically. In order to manage your time appropriately, you are going to need to be acutely aware of how you are spending your time. Really sit down and evaluate those blocks of times that you are spending doing things. If you're spending 2 hours just scrolling on social media, be aware of the fact that you spent those 2 hours on social media. How could you have used that time more wisely? Could you have spent that time networking? Could you have spent that time following up with customers? Could you have spent that time liking and commenting on posts? You know, things like that. Use those blocks of time more wisely, basically. And lastly, by saying yes to one thing, you are saying no to another. So when you get approached and you agree to do something, keep in mind what you are saying no to. Whatever you're putting in that block of time, whatever you were saying yes to during that block of time, you are avoiding all the other things that could have been put into that block of time. So just be aware of that when you are planning your day. Whatever you say yes to, if it is, you know, something that's going to benefit your business or whatever you're trying to accomplish, your goal, then be aware of that. But if it is something that you're agreeing to do that's not necessarily going to benefit anyone, then you might want to reconsider what you're agreeing to, basically. So I hope this gives you some tips and tricks that are useful in order to set your goals and prioritize your time in order to obtain those goals. And if you have any other tips or tricks that you want to add to this, leave them in the comments below. If you have any other questions or topics for Motivation Monday that you want to suggest, leave those in the comments below. And like I said before, don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications before you leave so you don't miss any of the future content. And I hope you have a great week. Love you guys. Bye.